But hey, in the overall scheme of things, it's a minor thing. We've got, transfers to think about, ITK, Dragon One, the GOAT, JJ Jet Set or whatever his name is, and
not JJ. JJ apparently is the man. Apparently, he doesn't talk unless he knows what he's talking about.
Exactly,
and everything he said is genuine.
So I did see that. He called Matt Doherty 10 days before it actually happened. So
we don't know a Matt Doherty. We don't know a Matt Doherty, mate. There's only a Matt Doherty.
No, it's Doherty.
It's not.
It's Doherty.
Paddy will have a word with you.
Paddy's going to be on you now. You know that.
It's Doherty.
It's
not Doherty. It's not Doherty. It's Doherty.
Doherty. Could be Doherty, yeah.
It's Doherty. Doherty.
Oh, Hotspur's a lovely beer, Andy.
Let me get onto that.
Brilliant.
Sorry,
it's a pineapple vibey hop. Lovely.
How did you come up with the Hotspur, Andy? What was the inspiration behind it?
When we obviously, ever since we started in Tottenham, we wanted to brew a beer called Hotspur. It's so obvious, kind of obviously. Often when beers are brewed, there's some kind of connection with the name of a beer to kind of a local event or a local
landmark,
and obviously Spurs are the biggest landmark in Tottenham to some degree. So Hotspur had to be a bit of a play on Hotspur, and it was kind of just such an obvious one to do, and that's really where it came from. It's kind of like an amber ale, best bitter style almost, but again, there's some American hops in this, and it's got some crystal malt, which is quite sweet, and so that gives it this kind of almost kind of biscuity, caramelly toffee flavor.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's got some of those crystal citrus notes in the background as well, so it's not too heavily hopped, but it's got a nice balance, and it's our biggest award-winning beer. We've won lots of regional gold medals with this and the national silver medals. So
it's so drinkable, isn't it?
It's so drinkable. This is the one winter by the fire.
Yeah.
All day long. It is just it's that on the cask, unbelievable.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So good.
It's a real cask beer, this as well. Yeah.
Dominoes by a fire in a pub, perfect.
Andy, one thing I was going to say is with real ales and that. I mean, I'm a lager ale generally, and my go-to is obviously soda. But my brother's really into real ale and camera and all of that. He doesn't. He looks down on me because if I buy real ales or whatever, I put them in the fridge to chill them, whereas he leaves them at room temperature. Is there a right way or a wrong way of conditioning them, or?
I would still put them in the fridge, because even like particularly the ones you buy in the pub, in the supermarket, that they are kind of designed, they're forced carbonated, so they can be kind of, they're designed really to be drunk cool. Maybe keep them in the fridge and then let them warm up a little bit. But you still probably want to drink them around about 8 degrees or so. You might not want to drink them kind of like a super chilled 4 degrees Celsius, but anywhere from kind of, I guess, kind of 8 to 10 degrees is probably that kind of sweet spot, if you like. Often
garage in the winter.
Yeah. Garage in the winter is spot on stage, right?
Yeah.
Just don't put them in the fridge. Put them in the garage. It's banging.
I tend to put my beers in the fridge now, and maybe I shouldn't do it, but I just do it out of habit.
Do it, Andy.
It depends on the beer. Solar, definitely. But sometimes you get once it warms up a little bit, you get some of those more subtle tastes of.
You get the flavors.
Yeah, if it's really, really cold, it will, kind of just about anything will taste good if it's really, really cold. But if it kind of warms up a little bit, sometimes you get some more of those more nuanced flavors.
A bit more depth, yeah.
But cool is better than warm. Warm beer is never good.
Sorry, Andy. I was just going to mention you mentioned about brewing beers and naming them on the basis of, say, local landmarks or bits and pieces like that. So you obviously link your product to the area that you're in, and obviously a huge landmark in Tottenham is chicken. Have you ever thought of trying to brew a southern fried chicken ale? it's got to that stupid point tonight.
Chick
So,
King beer.
Yeah. Southern fried chicken pale ale or something like that.
Yeah, maybe you could go into some kind of partnership with Chick King.
Yeah.
You could have a bar outside, couldn't you? So as you've got the massive queue there, you could be serving them your drinks with chicken pale ale.
So something I wanted to ask you, and was your drinks. What would you eat with them? There you go. So your porter, what food? Your Hotspur, what food?
I would say porter is always good with something kind of, quite like stewy or something, kind of a real wintry food, a casserole.
Put it actually in the casserole. Put the actual porter in the casserole.
Lovely. Yeah.
And porter works well with kind of desserts as well, like a kind of a chocolate tart, stuff like that. Porter can work really well with those sweeter dishes. And then Hotspur, I think, is great with fish and chips. Fish and chips and hamburgers it can work quite well with too. We sell Hotspur, gets sold in Honest Burgers.
Yes. There's one in Tooting.
The one in Camden anyway. For us, just Camden, but it'd be nice if we could go to some of the other ones as well. But that Camden one, the Hotspur goes quite well with burgers there. And then something like Big Chief works quite well with maybe like a kind of curry, Indian food, slightly stuff that's a bit more spicy. The Trinity would work well with kind of lighter things, kind of fish dishes as well, chicken dishes. So there's a kind of
what's the pizza beer? What's the pizza beer? The Solar.
It's got to be Solar.
Solar would be really good with the pizza. Yeah.
Oh, lovely job. We're talking about all this food, but beer now. God.
Yeah, exactly. So, Andy, do you think the whole kind of IPA pale ale thing is kind of impinging on the old lager market? So, where you had the traditional kind of bitter lager, binary kind of option in pubs. Now you've got so much more variation. Do you think the IPAs are actually impinging on that a bit more?
I think so. It's become the most popular style. IPAs and kind of pale ales, these kind of hoppy American style pale ales have become the main kind of drivers of beer sales in lots of pubs. And kind of maybe traditional bitters have taken a bit of a back seat, for example. So there used to be a term in the UK, boring brown bitter, and there's not so much of that brewed and made anymore. It's much more kind of hoppier and paler beers as well. But there's still I think demand for really good beers that have got like that aren't kind of super pale, that have some of the more darker malts in them. But that's what's definitely happened. Pale ales and IPA. You can go into some pubs, and this again has been the trend in the US, where you can see like a kind of 10 taps, and 7 of them are variations of an IPA style.
Because of course in the States in the 80s when I went over there, all they had was like Miller, Coors, Budweiser. That was it. And then within 5 years you started seeing Samuel Adams and all those kind of stuff, and then you had the I went up to the Portsmouth Brewery up in New Hampshire, and they had some lovely stuff up there as well. And you just thought, Christ, this is so much better than anything else you get in the States.
Yeah.
We went to Colorado, and they've got so many microbreweries in Colorado. Yeah. It's frightening. And to go West Coast, God blimey.
Yeah.
Down California way. Yeah, we obviously we're meant to be flying out there, but we've pushed it back 1 year. Just the amount of places I've starred where you've got breweries and microbreweries, it's incredible.
Well, they're crazy in California, aren't they, for their wineries and the
beer and wine is bonkers. Yeah. It's probably they must have the most per square feet of anywhere in the world, I reckon, when it comes to.
Well, it's a rich state, isn't it? It's got loads of cash.
It is, yeah. It's a lovely beer.
Actually, I just forgot we're on a pod. Anyway. So What else did you want to bring up, Jamie? Because I'm
want
getting
to
to
hear-
that point where I don't care.
Is this where you're going to tell everyone to fuck off and you hate them all and then go off for a virtual
You're all my
kebab
best
somewhere?
mates.
Wait till the big chief comes out, and then you'll be
Yeah.
Anyway,
The pod just won't end. It will just drift into the eternity.
It'll be like Twitter in perpetuity.
Yeah,
it'll be
God.
it'll be
Just
you
imagine
sat
that.
there sleeping, waking up in the morning
Snoring away,
ranting. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I've got an on this day, and Stacey and Simon, or whatever your name is, Andy. Creed, not Moffat. I've got an on this day that actually happened on this day, and on the 7th of September. This is for the old uns. This is us young uns won't remember this, but on the 7th of September 1968, Spurs beats Burnley 7-0.
Okay.
So yeah, a day in history with many high-scoring games.
I guess Jimmy
Spurs.
Greaves got a few of those, did he?
Oh, you've fucking ruined it now, Andy. This was only Spurs. This was. Oh, I mean, what? I mean, I'm not being. Hang on a minute. I'm gonna remove this section of the pod if you can't just be patient.
That's all right. I'll just hand all the editing over to you, mate. Yeah.
And wait for things to sort of happen organically. But yeah, hang on. Yeah, 7th of September 1968. This was only Spurs' second league win of the season and was the start of a successful 3-month period with only one defeat in 18 league and cup games. The older players were having a successful time. Jimmy Greaves was in a prolific scoring spell, which saw press calls for his return to international duty. And Cliff Jones was enjoying a swan song prior to his departure to Fulham. The goals were scored by Cliff Jones, 2, Jimmy Robertson 1, Jimmy Greaves 3 with 1 penalty, and Martin Chivers. And I've got an on this day that didn't happen on this day, but it happened yesterday. But we're so close to yesterday, I thought it was sort of worth it. It's, and it's fairly recent history as well. But
on this day yesterday.
Yeah, on this day yesterday.
So it's just on this yesterday then.
On this yesterday, yeah. On the 6th of September, 1998, I mean, more recent sort of history, stuff that I can vaguely remember was Goodbye Christian Gross.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and his 9-month spell as manager at White Hart Lane came to an end when Alan Sugar sacked him.
Or as Christian Gross said, Hart White Lane. You know, when he held up his ticket, he said Hart White Lane.
They could come on the tube, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, that's right. He came over on the tube from
Swiss side.
Well, he came from Heathrow apparently, all the way to White Hart Lane. I don't know how he got to White Hart Lane on the tube, but
was it Grasshoppers he come from?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But anyway, on that day yesterday, you've ruined what I was going to say again. So.
We should just let you chat, really.
Next time, can you just sort of let me say it rather than say it, and then you take away everything that I've sort of said?
Sorry, mate. Sorry, Jamie.
You're on this days are like, what is that? With that Jack and Nori, is it Jack and Nori where they have on? I don't know if they still do it on CBBC or CBBS or something. They have it with the celebrities, and I'm now going to tell you a story. It feels like that. A little bit, It's more
like Mr. Tumble when I'm doing it, but and you'll know the Mr. Tumble reference with young kids.
Yeah, should we do one of the questions that come through from?
Yes, there's a couple, isn't there?
There's a couple of good ones. Do you want to read them out, and or do you want me to?
Actually, I've just got to find them.
Andy already knows what the questions are, so don't bother asking.
Paul. His name's P, but it's Paul. It started again in 1882. He's got a good one. Would you agree that we need a minimum of 4th place and a trophy win this coming season in order not to lose Harry Kane in the summer? Even Andy Moffat, you know about Harry Kane, obviously. What do you think on that? Do you think it's one season? We've got one season with him to make it work?
No, I think he's Tottenham through and through, and I think he's a real committed player, I